The worst kind of coworkers are those ones who play nice. Oh, they're sweet to you, right? To your face. But behind the scenes, they don't really like you. Oh, and they bash you and they talk about you. Oh, those are the worst kind of coworkers. And a lot of times, those are often your managers, your team leads, your supervisors. You have to be mindful of those coworkers, right? You think everything's sweet, but behind closed doors, they don't like you. Behind closed doors, they're bashing you. Behind closed doors, they're throwing rocks and hiding their hands. When they say coworkers are not your friends, get your money and go home, it is not a drill. It is not a drill. Even if those managers and those supervisors tell you, hey, if you have any questions, please be sure to ask questions. You know, you can come to me. They'll say that, right? And then as soon as you go ask them questions and they help you and you walk off, they're bashing you to the next supervisor or coworker. Oh, they ask too many questions and they just don't know nothing. They just... Also, for example, they'll say, you know, you can come to me about anything. You know, you can come talk to me if something's going on with you. Never do that. Never do that. I made that mistake one time. So I was telling her about an issue I was having with a coworker, right? And this was a manager. I was revealing to her an issue I was having with a coworker, thinking that I can confide in her. This is a manager, right? It's going to stay in the office, even though that's what she said to me. You know, it's going to stay in the office. Why? She went back and told the coworker what I said about her. Everything. Let me tell you something. I don't care what position they have. Don't trust them. The worst kind of manager, coworker, and person in general is the ones that smile in your face, but they really don't like you. That's a snake. That is a snake. Don't trust them. Get your money and go home. Get your money and go home.
You know when people say your work colleagues are not your friends? Well, I'm going to take it one step further and tell you that work social events are not designed for fun. You might get invited to a work drinks, work dinner, or even a work party and think, ooh, this is an opportunity to let loose and have fun with my colleagues. Let me tell you that the answer is no, that's not the case. As someone who's been working in the corporate space for almost 5 years now, I've come to learn that there is a cap on the amount of fun that you can have at work social events. Too much fun can definitely lead to certain circumstances. And there is a decorum and a responsibility that you have when you go to work social events on the level of fun that you can actually have. So if you're new to the corporate space and you're wondering, what do you mean I can't have too much fun? How much fun am I allowed to have? Let me tell you the 5 rules that I always follow when I go to work events. The number 1 rule is please do not drink too much at work events. If you know that you can handle your drink, fair enough, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drinks as long as you're still standing and not talking rubbish. But if you're lightweight like me, my number 1 rule is sticking to a 2-drink minimum when I'm around my colleagues. Rule number 2, do not wear anything that's going to get anybody's attention on you. It is still a work event. It doesn't matter how much fun they say you're going to have. Stick to things that are appropriate. So stick to trousers, long satin skirt. You can have a little bit of glitz, a little bit of glam, but try not to show too much cleavage. Try not to show too much arm. But essentially something that you'd wear to a nice upscale restaurant is what I'd wear to a work social event. Number 3, if you're going to a work dinner and you're planning to order steak, just order it medium rare. Please. I know my black people are going to say I like to eat it well done, but trust me, order it medium rare. I saw a TikTok comment on here that said that if you order a steak well done at a work event, you might as well get up and leave, and truer words could not be spoken. If you do not want to be judged, order your steak medium rare. Rule number 4, please keep it about your personal life. Just because you're outside of work with your colleagues, that doesn't mean you have to be talking too much about who you're seeing, what you're doing over the weekend, you know, how much you drink, how much you party. These are the things you're interested in. You don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that. Literally, before you go to this event, pick a number of topics that you can cover for the evening and then stick to those. Because if you don't, with the alcohol and the music, you're going to start blurting out things that you're going to regret on Monday morning. My final rule and most important rule, do not have any sort of after party. Once the work event is finished, is wrapped up, everybody's gone home, you also get your bottom home. Do not go back to anyone's house. Do not go to the next club with anyone, especially senior management, anyone you report to. Get your behind home.
Here's why you shouldn't become friends with your coworkers. I had a friend who worked with a team of 4 other people, and the 4 other people got laid off. So my friend texted like the group chat and was like, hey, how are you guys doing? Like, here's some jobs, let me know if you need anything. Now, over the course of this month, they're like complaining about the bosses they didn't like, or just complaining about the organization and how they did things, and like the way that this layoff went down. My friend is participating in the conversation because like she's also annoyed by how everything went down. Specifically, they all had this one boss who like they just had a hard time with. My friend said that the boss was like nice seemingly, but like could be difficult to follow sometimes and seemed to lose her train of thought very often, and it was just very confusing to work for this woman. So one day, a month after the layoffs, that same boss starts acting like really weird. So then my friend got called into a meeting with HR and that person's boss. So naturally she's like, oh my God, like it's a second round of layoffs. I'm going to be next. Like I'm going home. So she gets into this meeting, and it's like at like 7:30 a.m. or like a ridiculously early time. She gets into the meeting, and then HR is like, hey, we got wind of a text message that you were on, and granted it was on your personal phone, but we got wind of this text message you were on, and we want to know if you can explain what you were saying in these text messages. So HR begins to like read line by line everything that my friend had been saying in these messages and asks her to explain each and everything. So like, remember my friend's boss, who everybody had trouble with, could be like forgetful sometimes. So my friend said that she would often call her Dory in these text messages because she was so forgetful. So HR is like, so you called X, Y, and Z Dory. What did you mean by that? So of course my friend's wondering like, okay, who gave you guys these text messages? Because at this point it's one of the people. Just be careful out here. Don't trust people. Nothing's safe. Not even your personal phone.
Be very careful of coworkers, right? That are nice to you one day, and then the next day, you know, they're mean. They want to be your best friend on Monday, right? But then on Tuesday, they want to be your worst enemy. You're sitting there confused, right? Like, what's wrong with this person? You know, like I thought he or she was my friend. Like, what's going on? Nah, they're fake. They're very, very fake. Coworkers are not your friend. Stop overthinking it. The worst part about it, right, is that when they're nice, they're so extra about it. They compliment your shoes, your shirt, your blouse, whatever, right? Your jacket, hair, you know, but then the next day they act malicious. They're so cold, and you're just like, what's going on? Like, what did I do? It's not you, it's them. Stop trying to be their friend, do your work, and go home.
See, coworkers be thinking they slick, but I'm slicker than Slippery Rick. Have y'all noticed that like when a coworker don't like you, they start to pay attention to every little thing that you do to try to get you in trouble? Like, I am not your child. I don't need you to watch me. And then it's like a lot of the times them watching you, like you need to be worried about your work, your deadlines. Stop worrying about me. And you know when a coworker don't like you when they literally give you passive aggressive energy. Like, you can be direct. I'm a grown lady. You can speak to me directly. Say what you need. I will let you know if it's feasible for me to be able to do it or not. And I personally don't do well with passive aggression. It's even wilder because you're not even my manager and you're trying to clock me. Don't try to clock my tea. Like, especially if you're not a manager, if you're not a supervisor, why are you trying to see what I got going on? Like, I should be the least of your concern.
Listen, the people you work with, they're not your friends, okay? You can be friendly with the people you work with, but don't think that they're your friends, because they're not. Out of all of my years of working, I have had one friendship survive. Most of them don't go well. If I ever walk back into an office setting again, or any kind of setting where I'm working with other human beings, the one thing I will do is keep my mouth shut about myself. I will honestly probably park around the block or across the street so people don't even know what kind of car I drive. I don't want them knowing anything about me. I won't share anything about me. What I do on the weekend, I slept and I ate and I came back to work. That is what I did. I work with babies now. One baby at a time. It is the best gig on the planet. I don't walk into my office and have a stack of work. I don't leave and feel stressed out. I don't have much of a commute. It's in my neighborhood and I love it. And when the baby's screaming too much, they go to bed. It's amazing. So if you can take one bit of advice from a 46-year-old woman who has spent at least 20 years working in an office setting, keep everything on the DL and just do your work. Be friendly and do your work, but keep your mouth shut about everything else about yourself.